What's up LEGO fans, it's LEGO Man Cam, and today I'm going to be covering one of the two newly unveiled LEGO Star Wars sets for August of 2024. But I think that there's actually a really great discussion here that can be said about the price of one of these sets, which seems unusually high. I do also want to mention that the Sarlaac pit set is extremely overpriced as well, but in this video I'm going to be looking at Ahsoka Tano's Duel on Peridea. This is a direct scene from the end of the Ahsoka series from last year. The set contains 382 pieces and 5 minifigures of Ahsoka herself, Ezra, Morgan Elsbeth, Grand Admiral Thrawn, and a Night Trooper. From first impressions, I think this set actually looks really great. Sure, it is just a grey platform, but the black pillars add some nice detail and it does look exactly like it did in the show. The minifigure selection here is obviously the highlight though, and wow, they all do look incredible. Firstly, Ahsoka is in her outfit from the second half of the series, and surprisingly still uses light grey as her colour scheme rather than white. I'm not sure if that has to do with the contrast on the orange colour maybe. Ezra looks really awesome here, and we have known about this figure for a while now since that video. The updated Morgan Elsbeth looks good enough with a nice new face print showing her Night Sister magic. The plain black legs I think are a little bit bland, but I am assuming that they just gave her legs rather than that dress piece from the E-Wing set so that she could be more posable in fighting Ahsoka. Thrawn looks pretty much perfect to me with his lighter blue complexion to match what he was like in the show. And then there was the rumored Captain Enoch minifigure, but is actually a regular Night Trooper, which I think looks good enough, and it's good to have another figure to duel with Ezra. The build features some turntables to spin the characters and have them fight, and it also has some stickers for details on the pillars and then also on the floor. I wish some of these were prints though, if I'm being honest. These stickers on the ground are all exactly the same, with one rectangle design and then one curved design. And I think it would have been super easy to just make 2 new prints and then repeat them in the set because they are exactly the same. I do understand why like the gold pillar details were stickers though, as they all look to be kind of different, and I'm pretty sure that LEGO can't print on those larger tiles that have the dimples on them, which is why in the UCS Venator it has those grey stickers over them rather than prints. Now let's take a look at the price. This set is $55 for 5 exclusive minifigures and 382 parts. At first, this does feel extremely overpriced for essentially a minifigure pack with a big piece of grey floor, but what I want to do is take a look at 3 sets that I would consider to be kind of in the same range as this one and see what comparisons we can make. I think the first one that comes to everyone's mind is the ObiWan versus Darth Vader set from the Kenobi show that just retired at the end of last year. This was a $50 set with 4 minifigures and 408 pieces. I personally think that this set is significantly worse than the Duel on Peridea. I think the build looks ugly, it includes 1 less minifigure, I'm sure it has 26 extra pieces, but if you do look at the build, there are quite a lot of those trans orange cheese slopes, which I think are going to inflate the part count. The next set I want to compare this to is Snokes' Throne Room from 2018, a set with 5 minifigures, 492 pieces, and it retailed for $70. Now, this one does include an extra 100 pieces than the Duel of Peridea, but at $70, it still doesn't seem like a good deal, and I again think it's a worse deal than this new set. The build isn't super good looking. I think it would have really benefited from having some big red cloth pieces to look like it does in the actual movie, and the minifigure selection, in my opinion, isn't quite as good here as the Battle of Peridea. So $70 seems really high for this one. And then the last comparison that I want to make is the Battle on Takodana from 2016. This was a $60 set with 5 minifigures and 409 pieces. Now there are a lot of larger pieces in this set to build up the door and then that big wall that collapses, but again, it feels really overpriced for what is actually included. The figure selection here isn't as good as the Duel on Peridea in my opinion, even though I do think the build in this Takodana set is probably better. And I also want to point out that this and Snoke's Throne Room are quite a few years old at this point, so if I were to account for inflation in these prices as well, if they were to come out today, they would probably be about $10 more each. So what exactly am I trying to say here? While yes, I do believe the Duel on Peridea is an overpriced set at $55, it doesn't seem worth it, but it does seem like all of these larger LEGO Star Wars Duel sets that we get are always overpriced. I'm not sure exactly why. Is it maybe the higher number of minifigures that are at a lower price point, or is it that there's lots of new prints and molds for some of these minifigures? Regardless, I think all of these sets are overpriced, but when you do compare them, the Duel of Peridea doesn't seem as bad as some of the previous ones. With all that being said though, please let me know down in the comments whether you'll be picking this set up. Will you be getting it at full price, on sale, or trying to wait until clearance? Please make sure to leave a like and subscribe as well to see my other LEGO and LEGO Star Wars videos, and I'll see you in the next one.